Friends, let us start with rule 32, sub-rule 3, that is for the valuation of supply of services with respect to booking of air travel tickets. This is what is given in the act. Let us understand, this is very easy. Domestic, for all the domestic bookings, 5% of basic fare, and for international booking it is 10% of basic fare. This is the GST rate, the GST charge which is given for air travel ticket agents. What do you mean by basic fare? Basic fare means airfare, that airfare on which agent is paid commission. Okay, usually airfare includes many other things like basic fare plus other charges like insurance, like carriages, like baggage, advisory, airline fuel charge, common user terminal equipment fee, convenience fee, passenger services fee, airport development fee, meals, snacks, drinks, charges, taxes, etc. What happens usually is that some of these or all of these are not included in the tickets, or they are included in the basic fare itself, right? And sometimes only basic fare is printed and sometimes these are separately printed. Wherever these things are separately printed, we are only going to consider the basic fare. And what is that basic fare? Basic fare plus all others. This is what is the charge. Airlines usually give these online tickets to the customer through air travel agent, right? If you book it online, airlines will directly give it to the customer, but there too there are air travel agents, and for offline also you will have to go through air travel agent. So customer books the tickets with the air travel agent, and air travel agent will give the tickets to the customer through airlines. And on basic fare, whatever basic fare is charged to the customer, on that commission will be given by the airlines to the air travel agent. Hope this is understood. This is only a very easy rule where we are going to consider 5% of basic fare for domestic booking and 10% of basic fare for international booking, and therefore I have not given any illustration for this rule. This is really very easy. Let us start with the rule 32, sub rule 4, valuation for life insurance premiums. I will read this. There are three things given. The gross premium charged from a policy holder reduced by the amount allocated for the investment or savings on behalf of the policy holder if such amount is intimated to the policy holder at the time of supply of service. This is the first point given. Second point, in case of single premium annuity policies other than given above, 10% of single premium charged from the policy holder, or in all other cases 25% of premium charged from the policyholder in the first year and 12.5% of premium charged from the policyholder in the subsequent years, provided that nothing contained in this sub-rule shall apply where the entire premium paid by the policyholder only towards the risk cover in life insurance. What we understand from this rule is that there are insurance companies which are giving you schemes for risk plus savings, right? And in such cases we are going to charge GST only for the risk part and not for the savings part, right? For savings part some other taxes and there are some other rules, but for risk factor we are going to charge GST only, right? So LIC premium valuation will be done in these ways. Only risk we are going to consider there. Wherever there is only risk policy, value will be full premium. Wherever there is the risk plus savings policy, value endowment policy, you might have heard about endowment policy, right? That is risk plus saving policy. Value will be equal to full premium minus savings part. It means this will give you the risk part. That is where we are only charging the risk cover, right? And then single annuity premium, wherever there are people who are putting in all the savings into the single annuity premium and then they are purchasing the policy. In such cases 10% of single premium charged will be considered. And in all other cases where we are giving monthly installments towards the insurance premiums, there 25% of first year premium, we are speaking about first year premium and not first premium. First premium can also be given in the first month. Okay, so for first year we are going to consider all that 12 months premium, add that, and 12% of it, that is the first month's premium, and 12.5% of all other premium. Let us say you have taken the premium for 10 years. So for first year, whatever premium comes, that will be that will be considered for 25%, and for the rest 9 years, 12.5% premium will be considered. This is the simple valuation rule for the LIC premium valuation. What you will have to remember is that, remember this chart. I have given you this beautiful chart, right? You will not find this in any textbooks. Then rule 32 sub rule 5, where valuation for supply of second hand goods is given. This I think I should consider in the next class, because it is little big, and I have also considered illustration in that rule. Therefore I will stop here. Rule 32 sub rule 3 and rule 32 sub rule 4 was considered today, and thank you. See you in next video.